Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video, we're making this beautiful metallic mandala moon and star for Eid. And this is a really pretty design. The star is suspended down with a little bit of thread, and then you can hang it up from the top to make a really beautiful decoration. You can see I've added loads of shine to this with craft board and metallic cardstock, so you can definitely make this stand out by adding the shine to it. Let's find out where to get the free SVG and then how to make this Eid papercraft project. You can download the free cutting file for this project at craftwithsarah.com/free-SVGs or follow the link in the description of this video to go straight to the download page. The download comes in a zip folder and you need to unzip this before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space to start a new project, then go to Upload on the left and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and then the one to select is the one which starts SVG in the file name. Click and drag that in, and this is what it looks like with all the layers on top of each other. If yours looks different and you see the pieces next to each other instead, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file. So if that's the case, press cancel down on the bottom right, try again, and make sure you choose the one which starts SVG. But this is looking good. Click upload, and then it will appear in your recent uploads. You can click it to get the green border, and then press add to canvas. And here it is. Design Space has changed recently, so now it closes up all your layers in the Layers panel by default. If you'd like to see them, click on the little arrow, and then they'll all appear. This is a fairly simple design. There aren't too many layers to it, and there are only 4 colours. We've got 2 shades of green and 2 shades of gold. If you want to resize the design, click it, and make sure your padlock icon at the top of the width and height box is closed. If yours is open, you can click it to close it. And by closing it, it means that when you change the size, let's just go 8 inches, really big to show, and then press enter, the height will change in proportion, so everything stays looking beautiful. I think I'll do this a little smaller at around 6.5 inches wide. Because this is a hanging design, you might find that especially the star, but sometimes the moon as well, can move about depending on where you've got it hung up. Or if you're doing something like putting it in a window, you might want to make sure it's pretty on both sides. So whether it's just hung up and moving around so that occasionally you see the back of the designs, or you're putting it somewhere where you actually want to see the front and back at all times, the best way to do that is by double-siding the design. To do that, click on it and then press duplicate over here to make a copy. And then we'll stick these back to back, which means that this second one has to be a mirror image of the first. To do that, press flip over here along the top and then flip horizontal. And then that will mean after you click make, it will cut out 2 versions, one for the front and one for the back. Now for my particular one, I'm running a little bit low on my metallic cardstock, so I'm actually only going to cut one of them. Here it is. This is all sized how I want, so I can just click on make at the top. It will ask if you want to save it. I'm not going to worry for this one. And then here is the different colours. You can change the paper size in here, and then click and drag to move things about to use up less of your cardstock. Because if I'd have left that there, it means I'm kind of wasting all this space, but by putting it up here next to the moon, it means I'll have all of this left to use on another project another day. You do need to do the paper size change for every single colour, so go ahead and do that, get it looking exactly as you want it to, then press continue down on the bottom right to connect to your Cricut machine and follow the on-screen instructions to get everything cut out from your cardstock. Here are the pieces of my design cut out, and it's a little bit hard to see just from it flat on my surface. But if I hold it into the light, you can see everything on here is holographic and shiny or metallic, and it's going to look really, really pretty when it's all put together. We'll start with the moon and the very bottom piece. Now you can tell this is metallic because you can see my camera in it. And then the next layer is the solid pale green. Turn this upside down and then I'll add some foam squares on the back. These are the foam squares I'm using from Dot and Dab, but any will do. And we're going to need a fair amount on here to make sure it's nice and level when it's all stuck on. So I'll go around the edge. Oop, just ripped some. I'll go around the edge and then put some in the middle as well. I'm actually running out. Now, because my foam squares are quite a good size, that's probably enough. I'll just grab some extra small ones to try and get into the tips a little bit better. And then just fill in some gaps. My sheet of the bigger ones has just run out, which is why I'm moving on to the smaller ones. If you've only got small ones, then don't just go around the edge. Make sure you put a row down the middle as well. And now I can peel the tops off to reveal all the stickiness underneath. Now I can get this in place, and it should go on so that there's a nice even amount of that original gold all the way around the edge. And then I would just gently, oh, that's not quite right, gently drop it down so that if I mess it up like I just did, I can move it nice and easily without damaging anything. This is a little tricky to line up. Now I think that's probably too close to the edge. I think that's better. Still managed to get it not quite right. Gosh, this might be the design I've had to do the most repositioning with ever. Right, let's try once more. Unfortunately, my foam squares are sticking to the metallic. Right, just needs to curve around a little bit more. That's now all stuck there. Never mind. Right, that's better. Now you can see some gold all the way around the edges. I got a little bit sticking out there. That's okay. That was a little bit trickier than I was expecting, but it's all on there now and you can see that little bit of gold around all the edges. Next is the darkest green piece, this one. And for this one, you can either glue it or you can use foam squares. I'm going to glue it because I just think the pattern looks better when they're both glued rather than foam on this bit. It helps to eliminate the shadowing that you get with foam squares. So it's a little bit more effective in my opinion with the glue. Right, this just goes straight on top. It's the same size as that last green bit, so you can line it up much easier this time. My glue is probably going to take a little while to dry because of all the shininess, so I'm going to be careful and leave it whilst I add the glue to the next piece, the final piece of the moon. Just adding little bits of glue along the back means that it's not going to hopefully smush out the sides. It's lined up so that you get the patterns through the holes. I'm just pushing down really, really gently. Try and stop the glue coming out and becoming visible. There's that one. It's so pretty. Gonna leave that to dry and work on the star. And we've got this little piece here, which I'll glue to the back so it covers the star. There we are. If we turn it round, it's now got the green in the middle. And then this is just a glue piece, so I just glue this onto that larger star. Make sure it lines up nicely so you've still got the hole at the top for threading the thread. And then I'm just going to pause for a couple of minutes, let my glue really dry before I add the thread, both to the top and also to attach the star into the moon. My glue's now dry and I've used some white cotton to attach the star. It's going to be so hard to show. There we go. So I've just knotted it around both of those and I used a little bit of sticky tape on the back to secure. Now this is going to move about, so I think actually making the star double-sided would probably look a little bit better. But of course that's completely up to you with how you'll be displaying it. And I've got some thicker ribbon for the top. Just folded it in half. So then I can put that through. Pull it through the loop to secure. And then I'll tie it into a little knot at the top. All ready for hanging. I only had this tiny piece of this ribbon, but it's going to work out just fine. I'm terrible at tying knots, by the way. It's probably going to take me ages. That wasn't too bad. You could also do it into a bow if you want to make it a little bit prettier. Trim that one. Okay. And then I'll be able to hang that up. Even if you don't double-side the whole design, perhaps just cutting that base layer again, but flipped like I showed you earlier, would be an idea, just to cover up this little bit of tape and to add some shine to the back. But for now, here is my layered paper craft project for Eid, all finished. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for loads more Cricut crafts and paper craft ideas. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!